Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me. My name is Mike Volkin, and today I'm going to talk to you about attracting, converting, and keeping clients, the three pillars for six-figure success. So let's go ahead and dive right into the content. Before I do, I have to say who I am. So I'm not just some schmo off the street. I am a lead instructor of freelancermasterclass.com. I am a serial entrepreneur. So I've built and sold a few companies. I've been in the Army. I have a few degrees. One of them's a master's degree. All this stuff doesn't matter. I've written some books, and I'm currently on the homepage of Upwork. What does matter is that I've been freelancing for over 15 years now, 10 full time, and I've made a couple $1,000,000 freelancing, and I've closed over 400 contracts. And the reason why I say that is because I have the experience, and I've also had a lot of trials and tribulations over the years that I want to teach you how to avoid some of those pitfalls. And today I'm going to show you how to attract, convert, and keep clients without having to deal with all the issues that I dealt with along the way. So I'm going to hopefully fast track your success. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. I'm going to talk about attracting first. So the first step in knowing who you want to attract, and believe me, I've worked with a lot of freelancers who have been freelancing for a long time and they don't truly understand or know who they want to attract. So I'm going to tell you a good tip on how to truly know that. If you don't know who you want to attract, what you should do is start by eliminating what industries you don't like. So for example, here's 3 examples on this slide that I'm going to show you. I don't like working in the meat industry because I'm a vegetarian and an animal rights activist. So I take those prospects and I put them to the side. I refer them out. I don't like working in politics, and I don't like working in digital currency. I don't completely understand it. And when I don't understand, I don't like marketing it. I'm a marketer. So I can't work with a business model that I don't fully understand. So those are 3 industries that I avoid. What I'd like you to do is think about some industries that you don't like working in. Because if you don't like working in a particular industry and you take on a client in that industry, you're not going to like being a freelancer. And it's all about being free. It's in the word freelancer. You want to like what you do. You want to feel free in your job. So work in industries that you like. What you should do at that point is you should then start to eliminate what type of companies you don't like. So we just talked about what industries you don't like. Now let's talk about what types of companies. Here's 3 examples on this slide. I don't like working with large companies. Well, let's just say I do like working with large companies, but not nearly as much as small companies. So think about, do you like working with small, medium, or large companies? And then eliminate the ones you don't like. I don't like working with companies with bad reputations. And I certainly don't like working with companies that only need me for one thing, like lead generation, for example. I am what's called a fractional CMO and an entrepreneur coach. So I like working with companies that have a diverse need for my skill sets. Let's put it that way. Okay. So start to eliminate what type of companies you don't like and kind of put that together with the other list that you just created with the type of industries you don't like working in. Now you have those 2 key factors. I want you to think about the best things that you like to do. Now, ideally, this is something that people will pay you the highest amount of money for with the least amount of resistance. Okay. This is not easy. And even if you've been freelancing for a long time, it's not easy to think about what you truly like to do. And then also, it might not coincide with what people will pay you with the least amount of resistance for. Okay. So don't list things that you don't like to do, or you're going to get clients that you're doing work for that you don't really like. And then you might as well just not like your job at all at that point. Right. So for example, the 3 things that I've listed, number 1 is marketing strategy. I love thinking about new ways that companies can generate revenue through marketing. So that's a big one for me, marketing strategy. Entrepreneur and business coaching. I can talk in groups or one-on-one with entrepreneurs all day long. I feel guilty even taking money for it. So you know that that's something that you really love to do. Okay. And then I like being a fractional CMO. That's essentially a marketing leader for a company part-time. Those are 3 things I really like to do. And I would encourage you to think about what you really like to do, but don't be too general about it. Okay. Don't say, I just like graphic design. We get it. You're a graphic designer. What specifically about graphic design do you like to do? There's many different types of graphic design. There's animation. There's, Photoshop edits. I can go on and on. about that. So don't be too general about it. Be very, very specific, and that will help you niche down, especially now that you know what industries you don't like to work with and what companies you don't like to work with. Now you have your strengths, and you're going to be very, very narrow into what type of clients you can take on and what type of work you like. So I would make sure that you have each of those things that you like listed 3 times in your profile, at least your Upwork profile. So what you're going to be left with is a great list of what you don't want to attract and also what you like to do. Now you can build your Upwork profile with a very good focus on stuff that you like. Now, remember, if you try to target everyone, you're targeting no one. So look at this slide. Which person below is going to catch the type of fish that you're looking for? On one side, you have someone casting a net into a water. This person doesn't really know what he's going to catch, but the chances are he's going to catch something. Could be something that's edible that he likes. Could be something that's unedible that he doesn't like. Might not even be a fish. Might be a bunch of trash. I don't know. We're going to cast a net. Going to find it out. And on the other side, you have someone who's spearfishing. He has the right tool for spearfishing. He knows exactly what he's looking for, and he's probably going to catch it because he has the focus and he has a tool for it. I want you to be that spearfishman. Okay? So that was a really quick overview, but a very effective one on exactly who you want to attract and how you're going to find those people that you want to attract. Now let's talk about converting clients, or let's call them prospects because they're not clients yet. They're only clients once you have an agreement and they're paying you. Let's talk about a proposal or a bid on Upwork. And if you don't know what that is, take a look at this slide. It's an initial query into a job opportunity. Okay. So for this particular job, you see that somebody's looking for an email marketing expert, and you as a freelancer can submit a proposal. That's what I'm calling a proposal, or it's also called a bid. Okay. We're going to talk about how to create a great proposal or a bid letter. So I've done lots of stats on Upwork. I'm trying to quote unquote crack the algorithm. Okay. I know what works and what doesn't work. I know what the algorithm what factors will front load your profile. And I'm going to tell you a couple of key stats here. Number one, bids under 100 words convert 27% of the time. And bids over 100 words convert 24.3% of the time. You might say, Mike, that's not that much. 27 versus 24, it actually is. Can you imagine? That's actually an 11.1% increase. Can you imagine get 11% more responses on your bid letters? That could be game changing for you. So keep those bids short and sweet, under 100 words. And the other stat I want to share with you is bids with a video convert 31% of the time. Bids without a video, 25.9. Again, you might say, Mike, that's not that much. It is. It's a 19% increase. A 19% increase in your bids going out with people responding, wanting a phone call or a discovery call for you. That's pretty powerful. You might say, Mike, how do you put a video in your bid letter? I'm going to show you. All right. There's tools for that. But before I show you, let me show you the components of a great bid. Okay. Probably the biggest error I see when freelancers are applying for jobs is that everything is just copy and paste generic. You can't even wonder if they even read your job profile as a client. Okay. Or your job description rather. Number one, the component of a great bid, first and foremost, custom sentence, top, right on the top. Custom sentence that specifically references their project. So you're letting that person know that you actually read their job description. Second sentence, tell them who you are and who you've helped. Okay. And of course, who you've helped should relate to their pain point of why they're posting that job. So if they're looking for an email marketing expert, like in that example I showed you, you're going to be referencing that in that who you've helped section. Okay. And that section, quote unquote, I just referenced is a sentence or two. Okay. And then the third part of your bid letter should be appealing to their needs and their pain points. Tell them the work that you like to do that provides commonality into what they're asking. And then the fourth section should be that custom video I referenced, and we'll go over that in just a second. And closing section, keep it short and polite. Give them 2 times to set an appointment with you. And I'm going to go over why you give them 2 times in a minute. But do you understand this flow? There's 5 key parts there that should happen in that order. that psychologically gets the person to understand and give trust into what you do, shows them your expertise, gives them a personal video, and then gives them 2 times to set an appointment for you. There's a very structured way that exists for a reason in that order. So what I want to do is I want to go through the highest converting bid letter that I have, and I've tried 644 variations. I test everything. I'm a former scientist. I have a degree, 3 degrees in science. Every one of those degrees had me do excessive testing on every component, and I've carried that testing knowledge out to my consulting and freelancing business. This particular bid letter I'm going to show you in just a minute gets me a phone call 71% of the time. Okay, let's go through it. But before I do, I want to give you 2 free tools that you're going to need in order to complete these bid letters with full effectiveness. Number 1, Auto Text Expander for Google Chrome. If you don't use Google Chrome, I'm sure there's an equivalent for your browser that has an extension. It's basically allows you to assign hotkeys. So you can do on your keyboard #U, right? Or whatever 2 combinations you want to do. And that will populate some text, like 3 or 4 sentences. So you don't have to keep typing over and over again or go to open up a Word document and copy and paste. It's just super easy. 2 keystrokes and you've got a standard paragraph. And the other tool you're going to need is loom.com or Cloud App. I use Cloud App now. They're both pretty much the same. They allow you to input a link that leads to a video that they watch. Okay, so look into Loom or Cloud App and then Auto Text Expander or an equivalent one. They're also called hotkeys, some kind of hotkey program for your computer. Here's a bid letter. Now you might be thinking, great, I'm just going to copy what you do. It's not going to work. But you can make it your own, and you're going to see why as you read through this that it's not going to work to just copy and paste this, because some of the things will just be outright not true. All right, so let's go through this. I'm going to read this through once, and then we're going to break it down into why it's structured the way it is. Hi, first name, and I'm going to show you why or how to get the first name of the prospect, which most people don't address the prospect by the first name because it's not evident in the job description. Interesting job post. Too often I see need help in these posts. So the detail you provided was great. I'm a CMO. I've built and sold 4 of my own companies. I have experience managing teams of experts with multi-million-dollar budgets, as well as creating marketing strategies for startups, bringing their product and service to market. I made this video for you, and this is where I paste in that video link. Do you need an entrepreneurial-minded marketing leader? Let's schedule a quick discovery call. Please provide 2 times that works best for you. Note that I did not put a calendar link on there because Upwork does not, that's against Upwork's policy. You can't take them to an outside link where you're capturing their contact information, okay? And then I sign my name, and then I give a PS. Be sure to check out my profile, one of my 5-star reviews from insert name there, where I completed a job very similar to yours. This is a very, very effective bid letter that I want you to make your own. Okay, let's go through this. First of all, find the name if you can. So watch this trick. Check out my slides here. In every job posting, you're going to see a section called the client's recent history. All right. In that client's recent history are reviews from freelancers who have worked with that client before. And many times they reference the client's first name. That's where you get the first name from. Okay. So in this example, you can see this person called this client Drew, or this prospect Drew, and this particular freelancer called this prospect Drew as well. So his first name is Drew. All right. So you're going to say, hi, Drew. Interesting job post. Too often I see need help in these posts. So the detail you provided was great. All right. So that is a generic sentence, but also gives them a compliment. It shows that you read through the job posting and you appreciate the detail that they provide. Now, don't put that sentence in there if they didn't provide any detail, but you want to put a sentence in there that is both complimentary, if you can, but also you're building trust in that you've actually read the job description. That is the goal of this particular sentence, okay? You can steal this particular sentence. This is one of the ones in this letter that you can take if you like. Although, you know, if there's 500 people watching this video and they're all going to put that sentence, you might want to think of making it your own, okay? They might be on to you at that point. Okay, so the next paragraph, I basically state what I do that aligns with their needs. So here I explain that I'm a CMO and I've built and sold a few of my companies, And then I have experience managing teams of experts with multi-million-dollar budgets. The reason why I put that sentence in there is because the job description, which you can't see, this is just an example, referenced that they have a multi-million-dollar budget and they need someone with experience managing teams. So of course I put in there, I have experience managing teams of experts with multi-million-dollar budgets. I mean, it's right there in the job description, their pain points and what they're looking for. You might as well say that you have experience doing that. Okay. And then the next sentence is where you give that personal touch, which is absolutely priceless. I will tell you unequivocally will convert better if you put this in your job bid letter. I made this video for you, and it's a loom.com video or a cloud app video. You're pasting the link, and it's basically a 1-minute video of you explaining how great you are, and without so much talking about yourself, but how much you can solve their pain point. And the reason why you want to do this is because it gives that face-to-face. It now takes you from yet another applicant to someone that they can see almost in person, pretty much. Now, I give them a question in this next part where they will know the answer to. It's called a leading question. If you ever watch, a lawyer work, and you probably have seen court TV or something similar to that, lawyers ask leading questions all the time. A leading question is something that that they know the answer to, and it's easy to answer. So it's either like a yes or no question. All right. So do you need an entrepreneurial-minded marketing leader? In this particular case, the job description specifically said, we need someone who is an entrepreneurial-minded marketing leader. You might say, well, that seems dumb to say, do you need that? Honestly, a lot of times they kind of forget what they put in there, and you're speaking their direct language. All right. So you're addressing their pain point very, very directly. Let's schedule a quick discovery call. Please provide 2 times this week that work for you. Now, notice the wording in this phrase. Let's schedule a quick discovery call. It's not, do you want to schedule a discovery call? Let's schedule one. So you're not asking them, you're telling them. I want you to make it as easy as possible for them to schedule a call with you. So tell them something. If you're asking them, you're giving them a choice. You're giving them an option to say no. Don't give them that option. Okay. So then I sign my name, and then PS, which is very powerful. I don't know the stats for Upwork bid letters, but I will tell you from emails, detailed studies have been done. The PS line is often the most read other than the subject line. So you want to put a PS in there. Be sure to check out my profile. I reference one particular review in here from a job that's very similar to the one that they have posted, and I call it out. So it gives them a chance to go back to view my profile and learn more about me, to take another look. Because oftentimes they might send out a couple invites here and there. They might not remember you from the last invite they sent, or they might have not even actually checked out your profile. This is the first time they're seeing you because you're straight up just applying for the job. So give them a chance to go and learn more about you by referencing something they should be looking for. Okay. And even if you don't have a review that they should be looking for, reference something in your portfolio, which you have complete control over. Okay. So, hey, check out this portfolio. This particular project I did was very similar to the one that you need done. Okay. Now, get that invites. Invites are like printing money. These are people that literally want you to talk to you right now. Okay. So invites are absolute gold. What is an invite? Well, you can see here, there's a big green button on the right-hand side that says invite to job. This is what a client sees after they post their job. This is one of the opportunities they get to invite a freelancer to a job. They might have come across your profile and they'll see that green button on the right. They'll also have a big section after they post a job that allows them to invite freelancers by doing a keyword search and filtering the right countries and price range and whatnot. That is also an opportunity for them to invite you to a job. But this is where they actually do that, is in the green button on the right. Your chances of getting a job increases dramatically if you get that invite. So that's why you should care about getting invitation to interview emails. Okay, that's what the subject line is when you get that email in. So I've run some tests. I did 10 searches as a client and my client account, because I hire freelancers as well. And I did no filters. All I did was a keyword. It doesn't really matter what the keyword is, but I want you to understand what the results are here. Don't be scared of all these numbers if you're not a numbers person, okay? What matters is the end result. So there are 10 profile results on each of the first pages. So if you do a search for a graphic designer, for example, you're going to get 10 people that Upwork is going to show on that first page of results. Just like Google, when you search on something on Google, you get 10 results until you click that 2 at the bottom right to get a second page, but most people don't. So you want to be in that top 10 profile on the first search results page. But please note the below here. Let's look at this slide. A freelancer can fit in more than one category. So if he or she can be all top rated as well as have a job success score of 90% or more. So keep that in mind as you look at these results. But here's the searches. 1 through 10 over here is the search results. And then here's what I was noting. I was noting if the person was a top rated freelancer. I was also noting if they were a rising talent. And I was also noting if they had a 90% job success score. And I noted, okay, so for example, on this first search that I did, let's just say it's for a graphic designer. 2 of the top 10 were top rated. 7 out of those 10 had a 90% job success score. Think about that. Why is that so important? Why is 7 out of the top 10 90% job success? Think about it from Upwork's point of view. They want to deliver profiles of freelancers that do good work. All right. So it's crucial that you get a 90% job success score or higher. All right. So just look at the results here. On average, 43% of the first page search results were people that were top rated. 16% had the rising talent badge, and 60% was 90% job success score. So do whatever you can to keep that job success score high. And if you don't know what encompasses, Upwork's done detailed blogs about this, of how to keep a 90% job success score. The bottom line in all of that is just do a good job for your clients. Keep them around a long time, over deliver and under promise. Don't get that backwards or you won't get a 90% success score. So how do you get more invites? Well, first of all, have an optimized profile that shows that you're an expert in a very specific skill set. You might think, Mike, if I niche down too much, if I'm a graphic designer for automobile e-commerce companies, that's going to be too niche. That's not true. There's millions of dollars out there to be made for that niche. And that's just one of thousands and thousands of niches you can pick. There's money out there. You just got to know how to get it and you got to stay focused. Okay. So have an optimized profile that shows you're an expert in a very specific skill set. If there's a person who owns an automobile e-commerce shop that comes across your profile that shows that you're an automobile e-commerce graphics expert, of course, they're going to invite you to that job. Give clients a reason to contact you now instead of later. So in marketing, we call this the principle of scarcity. I want you to discuss your availability. I have room for 2 more clients. Okay. That works. And of course, I've mentioned maintain a high job success score, but also to get more invites, you should have a skill that people actually want and need desperately and are actively looking for. So I want you to look at Upwork's list of the top 100 search keywords. You might think, Mike, I don't know what people are searching for on Upwork. Well, you should know. They produce a list for it. Here's a list right here. I'll give you the domain right here. This is their 2019 press release. It says Upwork debuts the Upwork 100, a ranking of the top 100 in-demand skills for independent professionals. Now, this is what people are searching for on Upwork. You should go down this list and make sure that some of these keywords are in your profile. Of course, only if you can service clients that need those keywords. But 97% of that list won't apply to you, but you're going to find 2, maybe 3, or even 4 nuggets of information in there of keywords that you should be putting in your profile and mentioning, at least 3 times. That's what is in demand right now. And follow Upwork's blog so you get these lists that come out. So here's a trick that got me 13% more job invites. What I do, and I'm not recommending you do this, I'm just saying this worked for me. Okay. It could work for you. Put in the title that you work for invites only, because a lot of times when clients are searching and scrolling through endless amount of profiles, they see something in a title that says works for invite only. They're going to stop and go, wait a second, let me take another quarter-second look at this guy or this girl, right? So they're going to see that and they're going to instantly kind of click through in your profile just from that title alone. It actually worked. Okay. So to get more invites, what I want you to do is one little trick here. When you get an invite, I want you to respond immediately, as soon as possible. I tested 22 invites and I sent as clients, 80% of the freelancers never responded. That's why I put a sad face here on this slide. Can you imagine? I sent off 22 invites to freelancers that essentially I was ready to hire, and 80% of them that are listed on Upwork who are looking for work didn't even respond. All right. So if the client sends 5 invites and you're the first to respond, you're automatically on the top of that list. So stop whatever you're doing when you get that invite and look to make sure it's something you want to apply for. Keep in mind that hiring a freelancer is not like hiring a full-time job. There's no tournament style hiring. And what I mean by that is when you go into a corporate interview, you have, or let's just take it from a little step back. When you apply for a corporate job, you have a human resource manager who has a stack of papers who's going to divide that stack into 2. Want to interview and don't want to interview. If you make that stack, you make it to the second round of a phone interview, right? So then you take that stack and they put pass or fail stack. So they put in pass, yes, we like this person, did a good job in the phone interview. No, we didn't like this person. So now you're in the third round, in-person interview, right? So then it goes on and on until it make it down in one person. That's a tournament style. Freelance hiring is not like that. They will come and hire the first person that meets their skill sets and all the criteria they're looking for. Very rarely do clients shop around. Once they find someone, they're ready to execute because they've got that need that they need to fill that particular job and needs to happen. All right. So we've learned about attracting clients. We've learned about converting clients. Now let's talk about keeping clients. All right. The keeping clients is probably the most important part because it's really time consuming to bring in a client, and keeping them is the easy part. So if you want to scale, the difference between companies, and yes, you're a company as a freelancer, you just might be a company of one, that's perfectly fine. But the difference between companies that grow and those that don't is client retention, plain and simple. The more clients that you can keep, the ones that you like, the more successful you will be. All right. Customer acquisition is expensive. There was a study that was done by Marketing Sherpa. And I've seen a few studies and the numbers do vary. I've seen 6 and 19, but Marketing Sherpa's study shows it is 19 times harder to find a client than to keep an existing one. Think about all the stuff you have to go on discovery calls. You have to in-process them, maybe add them to some spreadsheets. You have to learn about the company. You have to learn about their team. You have to learn about whatever your graphical assets that they have, whatever you're learning about that company. All that's a lot of work. But when you keep a client and you renew a contract, you don't have all that in-processing and discovery calls and defining scope of work and all that stuff, right? So keeping a client is a lot easier than bringing in a new one. What I want you to do is I want you to look within yourself. So oftentimes when a client asks me to help grow their revenue as a marketer, the first thing I do is I look within their organization. So why should you care about keeping existing clients? Well, number one, better conversion rate, less marketing to bring in new clients, higher profits, because once you bring in a client and they already know your value, you can actually charge more for less time. All right. And then lower costs as well. We always, we talk about the costs of bringing in clients, not just on Upwork, but on other platforms, whether it's through paid ads or LinkedIn or personal network, all that costs money. All right. So just look at this stat over here. Why do customers leave companies? And again, you should be considering yourself as a company. The number one thing, forget about all these up here, but the number one takeaway for this is, look at this slide. Customers believe you don't care about them. How easy is that to keep a customer? It's not even about their skill set. It's about giving them the communication that they deserve and need for you to do a good job. Even if you do a bad job, you still have a chance of keeping that client with good communication, because that's really what clients care about. Moreover than anything is you communicating with them in a great way. All right. You can get trained. Sometimes clients are willing to keep you around for a longer time if you do great communication. But if you have poor communication, whether you do a good job or not, you're not going to be sticking around for very long. Clients don't tolerate that. So how do you keep a client with good communication? Number one, you have to understand your intentions. Whenever you speak to a client, it should be in the client's best interest, not yours. A lot of times freelancers are kind of selfish into what they're asking. They're asking for extensions. They're asking for them to do something that is a procedure in their business and not the client's business. So understand your intentions and always have your client's best interest in mind. Think about that. Okay. And then meet expectations. Are you meeting or exceeding your deadlines? Whenever I create deadlines for my clients, I'm always putting in what I call a fudge factor of 20%. So if I think something's going to take me 5 hours to do, I'm going to say it's going to take 6 or even 7 hours to do, because things happen. You might lose power in your house and won't have access to the internet. Something might happen. I can list 5 or 10 different things, which will cause something that's out of the ordinary, that will cause a delay in what you're doing. So always exceed your deadlines by putting in that fudge factor. Okay. And then this is really important, guys. Be honest. All right. Are you communicating honestly? Like, I had a freelancer the other day who just disappeared on me for like a week, didn't respond to emails. I didn't know where she was. And she's like, well, I went on vacation. Okay, well, great. Well, tell me you went on vacation and just let me know in advance. But honestly, what she told me later was she wasn't really on vacation. She kind of tripped herself up, is that she just got too busy with other work. All right. So, which is it? It didn't really matter. To me, the end result was you just weren't responding. And I just wanted to get some response. I didn't really care if you're on vacation or you got too busy. Just tell me when you're getting the work done. Just be honest. Okay. Sometimes it's your fault and that's okay. But just communicate with them honestly. Okay. And then own your mistake. So in that particular case, I gave you an example. They were just too busy. Don't tell me you're on vacation. Just own it. Everybody gets busy. I get it. Okay. Some things don't happen a lot of times the way you want it to happen, but just own your mistake. You know what? It won't happen again. I'm going to schedule time next week to work on your project. It'll be done on Tuesday. I promise. That's fine. I'm not going to fire you over that. I'm not going to get rid of you. So just own your mistakes and be honest about them. Okay. Mistakes happen. Reasonable clients understand that mistakes happen. Okay. And then respect. Encourage mutual respect. Your clients will appreciate you not being a punching bag. And, I don't want to say don't text with clients, but this is one of the main reasons that I don't text with clients. I don't use WhatsApp or Skype or all those other programs that require, especially Slack, that require instant gratification, I guess is the way to say it, is through communication instantly. I don't do programs like that. Like, it might make me sound old school, but what is the one difference between email and text with a client? When someone emails you, they know that it's in your inbox. When someone texts you, they're expecting an immediate response. All right. So forget office hours, forget emails. When someone texts you and you go 10 minutes without responding to them, then something's wrong. You're not communicating well. Even though 10 minutes is a great response time for email, with texting, there's a whole new standard with response times. And I don't want to get clients texting me at 10 o'clock at night when I'm with my family and cooking dinner at 7 o'clock and I get a text, oh, I got to stop and do this. That's not the way that clients you should be working with you. So you got to set boundaries early with respect, and they're going to appreciate, say, hey, listen, I realize there's a lot of programs out there. I realize that your company uses WhatsApp, but in case with my communication, I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Slack for this reason. It helps me stay focused and helps me deliver my work on time. They'll respect you for that. Okay. They're productivity killers. Texting, social media, Slack, constant notifications on your screen, phone screen, and your desktop or your laptop. All that stuff is productivity killers. You want to have that respect that your clients will demand of you, and vice versa. And then also, in terms of like keeping clients in terms of good communication, being polite is huge. Don't be overly polite. That's a little annoying. But then don't go without your pleases and thank yous. Okay. Manage up. If you don't know what managing up is, I actually give a course on my website about it. I won't go into detail, but managing up is a way to communicate everything that you need in one succinct way to respect your client's time. Here's an example. Going back to a freelancer I just recently worked with. She was starting to do some website edits for one of my websites, and she kept asking me questions, hanging on email like it was a chat line. It's like, okay, do you want this over here? Okay, do you want this graphic and this text on this page over here? It's like, you know what? Just gather all of your questions and just ask me in one email. All right. I don't have time to keep stopping what I'm doing to answer your questions. So managing up is an efficient way to communicate. And if you understand how to do it, you'll be able to keep clients way longer. Okay. Google it. There's a whole, there's lots of blog articles about it. I teach a course about it. There's YouTube videos about it. If you don't learn it from me, learn it from somebody. It's a very valuable skill set to learn. Okay. And then be punctual. This is a huge pet peeve in my book. Time is everything as a freelancer and consultant. You bill per hour. So have respect for their time. And when they're on time for meetings, please say, thanks for being on time. That little sentence shows that you respect time and you're also complimenting them. Thanks for being on time is a very powerful sentence you can say to your clients and prospects. So they know that it's appreciated and you both have time that's, it's a mutual respect. Okay. And then show all of your skill sets. Many times clients only hire you for a very specific job and they don't know your other talents. So I use this example a lot as I had this graphic designer I was using for a very long time. I didn't know she was also a copywriter. She wrote a book. So I was telling her one day, just randomly, I take your graphic designs and I put them in my blog post. She's like, oh, who writes your blog post? Oh, some copywriter. I had to find a new one. I'm not, 100% happy with her. And she does okay work. She's like, I'm a copywriter. And she's like, that's actually what I do most of the time. I'm like, what? I never knew that. I've been working for 2 years. And she's like, yeah, I have this comment on your blog and this comment. And we started talking and she's a fantastic copywriter. So now I have her doing all of my graphic design and copywriting work. And she never told me that because sometimes when freelancers or when clients hire freelancers, they don't know your skill sets. They have a laser focused vision on who they need to hire for that skill set. And they don't bother to know like the full scope. They don't actually see your resume. All right. So be sure to let clients know all about your skill sets and what you like to do. And then it's very important to keep clients a long time. Ask for feedback. It's a great lead-in question, not only to get that Upwork 5-star review that you want, but also to ask for more work. So you ask for that feedback after you deliver a particular project. Did you like what I delivered to you? I hope it met your expectations. Would you mind providing me with a review on Upwork? And they say, yeah, no problem. 5 stars. I love what you did. Oh, great. Thanks. You know what? Do you have anything else coming up in the future? So many freelancers are afraid to ask for work. They feel like they're a salesman or something. But I'm telling you, once you start asking for work, a lot of times clients don't know or think about work when they're working with you. They might not, it might slip their mind. And then 3 months later, they'll try to remember your name. Oh, that graphic designer who did work for me, or that SEO person what was his name? But if you're asking for it, you know what? Now that you think about it, I do have something coming up in a month. How about we start prepping for this work today? That's perfect. A lead in is asking for feedback will get you that future work. Okay. Now it's very important. Don't create a dependency. Many clients say that they want to help. And this is what I mean when I say dependency. What a client really wants for you to do is do the job that requires as little of their time as possible. Clients might want to say that they're helpful. I do this too as a client. Yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here for you as a secondary option, but what I really want is for you just to do the work. I don't want to know how the sauce is made. I just want to taste the sauce. Okay. So don't create that dependency of needing them every hour or asking them questions. Say, as a freelancer, you should definitely ask the questions you need to do a good job, but don't create that dependency. Okay. And then I also want you to adapt. As a freelancer, you have a certain way of doing things, but when your client's business has a different way, show them that you'll adapt. For example, if you use maybe a certain project management platform like Asana or teamwork.com to keep all your tasks organized, don't ask the client to come into your platform unless they want to. They might say, hey, we use Asana. I know you don't. Would you mind, coming over to Asana? And they say, yeah, you can say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So adapt to them, not to the point where it's going to take you off track or off focus, but if it's easy enough, if their team is succinct enough to use a certain platform that you should be on in order to keep a client and to show your value, absolutely adapt to what they're doing. Okay. Now, there's a fine line in there in terms of communication. They might say, I'm on WhatsApp. All our team is on WhatsApp. You should be too. You might say, with all due respect, I can't use WhatsApp because I won't be able to deliver my work in time. If it's jeopardizing the work that you're doing for them, then no. Or you could compromise, and I've done this before. I don't usually use WhatsApp. I'll do it, but in respect of my productivity and my time, I can only check WhatsApp once a day or twice a day at noon and on 5. Then that's a good compromise. And then make and show your impact. If you create an impact, show it. Here's a perfect example. A graphic designer came to me the other day after completing work a month prior. He's like, Mike, I was checking your stats. The work I did for this particular client, the only thing that's changed was the new graphics that are on, and conversions increased in this page 2%, which represents an extra $32,000 in revenue. Okay, so this graphic designer took the time to look at the stats, understand the increased value that their work did, and now Well, the graphic design work you did for a few $100s created $32,000 more revenue for my client. I'm absolutely going to bring that to my client and tell them that. So if you can have measurable impact, especially in terms of dollars, but in terms of time saved as well, that's a big one. Saving time and making money are two big things in business. If your line of work can show that data, that impact, you should absolutely show it. Go that extra mile to show that value, because now instead of paying that graphic designer $50 an hour, I have no problem paying that graphic designer $100 or $150 an hour if they can generate tens of thousands of dollars or more revenue for my client. Okay. Make your schedule open. Few things piss off a client more than being out of the office without you telling them. I gave that example of that prospect the other day who just disappeared on me. Now, she said she was out of the office, but that's a different story. She wasn't being totally honest with me. But the bottom line is, if you plan on going away for a few days or even one day, if you plan on going out golfing for a day, which is what I do. Sometimes I play tennis all the time. Sometimes I'll golf. But I'll tell a client, listen, I'm going to be gone out of the office. You don't need to tell them what you're doing unless you want to. I'll be gone from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please do not expect an email from me for that time. I'll get caught up by the end of the day. All right? So make your schedule open. And the last point here I want to say is under promise and over deliver. Don't get that backwards. Don't over promise and under deliver. Under promise and over deliver. It's an old business saying, but it is so true. Put a fudge factor in everything you do, from proposals, the time it's going to take you to deliver something, the cost it's going to take you. If you under promise and over deliver, you're showing a huge amount of trust and respect and honesty to your clients. And that's just a massive, fantastic way to keep clients longer. Okay. So in closing, go to freelancermasterclass.com if you want to learn more about what I teach. I hope you learn more about attracting clients, converting prospects into clients, and keeping clients as long as possible to show your value. Again, I'm Mike Volkin. Thanks again for joining me.